Welcome to the New England Real Estate Journal radio show. I'm Rick Kaplan with Eric Wilson, and we're here in Manchester, New Hampshire, at the CIBOR New Hampshire Awards banquet. And I have sitting next to me one of the award recipients, Charlie Goss, and he won the Tourism and Hospitality Award. Good evening, Charlie. Congratulations.
Good evening. Thanks very much for doing this.
Actually, I should call you Chuck.
We're friends now.
We're friends now.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'll call Chuck.
Chuck works.
Okay. So you had a big deal. The Lime Inn?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of a small deal, but relatively speaking, it was big because the difficult task was having a building in the middle of what most consider nowhere, but Lyme, New Hampshire, as a guy who spent 4 years up in the Hanover area as a kid, knows that Lyme, New Hampshire is not the center of the universe, and having a building that lost $500,000 a year for 3 years straight is difficult to sell. And I got very fortunate to sell that building, and I'm glad it's being recognized to some degree as something that is significant of at least New Hampshire tourism. It's not that every bit of tourist property is in that situation. New Hampshire has a lot of tourist dollars, and it's important to get hotels and so forth sold in this area. But that particular property was rather extraordinary to work on, and it was fun to get recognized in this. So I'm grateful to you guys.
And Chuck, who do you work with that you were able to put this deal together with?
I work with NEI Norwood Group. NEI is obviously an international affiliate. We're the New Hampshire affiliate. I worked with NEI Hunneman in Boston years ago, and love being up here. By the way, life begins north of the border. I tell my colleagues and Hunneman that. But it's a great affiliation, and to have this first annual event here in New Hampshire is a great idea for both us and also for you guys to cover it. Is super. I mean, I really appreciate that.
We appreciate you saying that, Chuck, because before we went on the air, you also were telling us that you're a big fan of the New England Real Estate Journal as well.
Let me tell you, a little bit about that. My wife gives me a heck about this, but honestly, I do tend to keep the journal. It's kind of like, keeping other magazines you want to talk about in your earlier youth. But actually, I keep them for some reason. I feel like I can go back and, and reference things, but I never do. But they are valuable to the point where I do want to keep them. I don't know why. Maybe it's a simple hoarding mechanism. I should be on my own show, but frankly, they're a good reference, and I'm glad you guys continually put that out, and I'm glad to be other companies and advertiser there because it's a system we need to work, and it's a nice way to get your properties out there and get a kind of an overt look at what's going on in the business on a regional basis.
Right.
Well, we appreciate your support.
We do.
Congratulations again
on
on the award.
Sure. Right.
And
Thank you.
Chuck Goss.
Chuck Goss, yes.
Chuck Goss of NEI Norwood Group.
He's so good. NEI Norwood Group. If you're in New Hampshire, come to see us.
NEI. I took my glasses off, so it's a little difficult. But
good work, Rick.
Thanks very much, you guys.
Thank you, Chuck.
It.
Appreciate you coming on.
Our next guest is Karl and Louise Norwood. Now, you're with
NEI Norwood Group.
NEI Norwood Group.
Right.
I had a feeling. The name gave it away. But I wanted to make sure. You won the Legacy Award. Now, when someone says legacy, that means that...
you hang around long enough.
You've been around a little while.
We're getting old. That's what it means.
But that's quite an honor.
Huge honor.
40
Huge surprise.
years.
47 years, yes.
47 years. Yes. Oh, because it says here 40 years.
40 plus.
40. Yeah, I got to put my glasses on. So you've been in the this area, the New Hampshire area?
Yes.
So
we started in 1968.
Wow. So you were selling farms at that one time.
Farms, homes, land,
now
and commercial real estate. Yes.
Wow. So you experienced it all.
We think so.
Good times and bad times.
That's right.
You actually
Good times and bad times.
Yeah. So you actually saw the development of the whole area of New Hampshire.
Many changes. Yes.
Yeah, because I can imagine this place was all land at one time.
It was.
And
it was.
You had to probably drive miles and miles before you could show a property.
That's right. That's right.
Before you even saw a property.
That's right.
Now, so it's changed quite a bit. Now
it has.
Now the cities. Now you go in downtown Manchester, and I remember as a kid coming to Manchester, there wasn't a whole lot there.
That made some dramatic changes, and also in the countryside, the housing boom really took off. But underneath the whole thing was the broker network, and that's really a solid network and good friends, as experienced tonight. It really made a difference.
There's some great camaraderie between all of the brokers. It's like a sorority, fraternity, if you will.
And that's great because, in many businesses nowadays, you lose a lot of that. And to hear it's still in place in this area.
You can tell we're all friends.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're competitors, but we're friends.
We're
and that's very
competitors.
important.
So you all developed the area together pretty much.
Relationships.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic.
That's good.
Well, congratulations on the award.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on being around in this industry for 47 years. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment right there. You should have got more than one award.
No, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
We have the Deal of the Year winner, actually the runner-up, and but we think you're still a winner.
Yeah.
It's Bob Roher, and you're with what company?
Colliers International.
Colliers, and you participated in this. This is the Deal of the Year, so this was a big deal.
Pretty big deal, yeah. It was a investment deal, industrial piece of property that we repositioned from a corporate decommissioned industrial building, and then went ahead and leased up about 227,000 square feet to a couple of tenants, and then put it out in the investment market. It took about 3 years for the whole process.
And that's up in Nashua, New Hampshire?
Yes.
And this was new construction?
No, there was a pharmaceutical company that owned the building, and they were decommissioning the operation there. So they were in the process of idolizing the plant. We had a buyer and a tenant in hand, and we went in and bought the building. They leased a little bit more than half, and then we finished leasing it up over the next 2 years.
Oh.
And then once it was leased up, we sold it as an investment product.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Good turnaround.
It was a great product. It was a great building to work on.
And that's in Londonderry, right?
No, it's in Nashua.
Nashua.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one of these things right.
Yeah, right. You haven't been right since you did your own presentation up there.
You did a good job tap dancing.
You did. Bob,
the information wasn't
how
all
long
there.
you were with Colliers International?
So we switched over from Grubb & Ellis. We were a Grubb & Ellis shop for about 10 years. Prior to that, we were a local company called Coldstream.
Okay.
We joined Colliers about 2.5 years ago.
So you've been in the commercial real estate game for how long?
Too long.
Too long to announce.
So our company, I'm managing partner of the local company, which is an affiliation of Colliers.
Okay.
So we're independent, and we affiliate with Colliers similar to the way we did with Grubb & Ellis.
All right,
so
nice.
Get a little bit of both. Easy for me to say. Bit of a best of both worlds.
Yeah,
so
right.
We like
exactly.
That. Yep.
And now, is your location only primarily New Hampshire, or is it Southern New Hampshire, or is it?
Right. We've got two offices, one in Manchester and one in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And that's our, we base out of there. We do a little Southern Maine.
Okay.
A little Northern Mass, and then we work very closely with the Boston office.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Happy to be here.
And congratulations on the award.
On the deal.
It's Bob Roher
Yep.
of Colliers.
You got it.
And our next winners, this is for the Deal of the Year. Actually, I presented the award.
You did?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have Michael Tamposi and we have Roger Dieker.
Dieker, yes.
And they're both with CBRE New England, and they had a big transaction. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that transaction?
Well, it was. It started first as a land search, and it was throughout New England.
Throughout New England, yeah.
Throughout New England, for ultimately the tenant. So we were identifying sites throughout the state here, settled upon one, and put it together.
So this, who's the tenant in that?
The tenant is UPS.
Never heard of them.
No.
No, that's a big piece of property.
Yes.
So is that their main facility in this area?
This is just for a single contract that they were awarding.
Oh, that's it.
Yes.
That's got to be a sizable contract to
Yes.
take that kind of space. So how long was the process to get this whole deal done?
Years.
Years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a long time coming before you saw any money out of this deal.
Exactly.
So the award isn't just the only thing you want.
No, that's right.
The deal Now, did they lease? They purchased this property.
They had a developer who purchased the property, and then ultimately a lease back to UPS.
Oh,
But that basically opened up that whole area south of the airport, Pettingale Road. The new bridge was through. So that large kind of kickstart development, you'll see a lot more coming in that area.
so in the long term, this is going to be a whole new development,
Yes.
pretty much.
Yes.
So this isn't just a one-shot deal for you, because now you'll have other.
There's
property.
opportunity.
Plenty of
Yeah.
opportunity.
We need to find bigger tenants. Absolutely.
Well, if you find a big tenant like UPS, everyone's going to want to deal with you. Of course,
Exactly.
right?
Right around the same time, they had a FedEx deal happening on the adjacent site. So the site was master planned a number of years ago to have access from the airport over to Route 3. And this was more or less the catalyst that finally pulled everything together to have the Pettingill Parkway put in.
Oh, so this is it's like an industrial park, pretty much.
More or less, yes.
How many square feet is this industrial park?
Well, it's acres.
How many acres? I should,
600
yeah.
acres there to be opened up.
Yes.
600 acres?
Yes.
Oh, wow, this is a big industrial park.
Yep.
So you got a lot of work going for you for the next few months, huh? The next few years, I should
Years.
say.
There you go. Job
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Great. Congratulations on the deal.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the award.
Thank you. All right.
And I'm sitting with Michael Tamposi and
Roger Dieker.
Roger Dieker of CBRE New England.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm joined here with Tom Farrelly and Sue Ann Johnson, the big winners today, as you took home 3 awards for the Industrial Sale of the Year, Office Sale of the Year, and the Suburban Sale of the Year. Is there anyone that comes top of mind that you want to talk about first?
Absolutely. I think 55 Executive Drive is probably the best feather in our cap for last year. It was the repurposement of it was a custom-built office and industrial building that Press Tech built. It was 55,000 square feet of 2-story office space. It was about 119,000 square feet of, 24-foot clear, fully
24-foot
air-conditioned
yeah.
industrial space built by Press Tech.
It was an amazing
It was
building.
a beautiful building on 35 acres with an extra 12-acre parcel.
Yeah.
And but it was a lot of office space for that Hudson market, and the Hudson market for many years has been extremely depressed. There was a building for sale in Hudson for 5 years. That building sat empty.
Wow.
And finally it sold probably about 2 years ago, and after that, that market has really ticked up. So we've
Really?
done 4 sales actually in that market.
Since that sale?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
The
55
magic-
Executive was definitely the biggest.
The magic on that was that it was a corporation that owned the property.
Yep.
And they really didn't want to be a developer. They didn't
Okay.
want to put up the money
They want to be
and
a
go through
landlord.
all the approvals process. So essentially, we found a tenant, Comcast, and then we lined up an investor developer, Farrelly
Okay.
White, and we kind of brought them together. So the seller ended up getting a price that was about what a user would have paid.
Okay.
So in the seller essentially allowed the buyer to tie up the property and finalize the lease. So it took a high level of trust,
Yeah.
and for everybody really, because the buyer had to start spending a lot of money if they were going to win the Comcast tenancy.
Right.
So it was, but it was a perfect match.
And how long did it take them to move in there?
I've never seen a project move as quickly. I mean, they were literally working 2 or 3 shifts to turn that building around. I mean, it was literally where you'd normally think 7 or 8 months. I think they got it done in like 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 or 5
And
months.
the magic to that property was the site size. It was a very large site size. And it's funny because you go there was like a lot of minimal parking lot, a lot of trees, a lot of land. And because Comcast, their call center, had such a high level of a parking need, they had
Okay.
to expand the parking. And that never would have happened, I think, in any other building in that park. That was the only property that
That
had
was the
enough
magic.
land
Right.
to
It's
really
a
make that
call
happen
center,
for them.
Right.
8 or 9 cars per 1,000. And very few buildings could accommodate that.
Right.
We had the land to do it, and that's where the magic was too.
And this was up in Hudson. What do you think was the turnaround for that reason after that one building sale? All of a sudden, it's kind of boomed for the next 3 years.
The industrial market just started to
Yeah,
actually
it just
pick
started
up.
cooking all of a sudden. I mean,
Really?
buildings that were priced in the high 30s to low 40s, all of a sudden we're now those same buildings are selling in the 60s and one or two even in the 70s a foot.
Yeah.
We just closed on 29 Flagstone last Friday.
We had talked about, you have industrial, office, and you have suburban. Do you cover all of New Hampshire?
That's New Hampshire.
We do.
Just all New Hampshire.
Actually, all three of us are licensed in Massachusetts and
we
New
do
Hampshire.
Southern
So
New
we do
Hampshire,
both-
Northern
both
Mass.
sides of the border.
Yep.
Wow, nice. Anything coming up? What are we working on? What's new?
We've got 100
How are we going
William
to win awards in 2016?
We got 100 William Loeb Drive, the Union Leader building in Manchester.
Oh, nice.
It's about 173,000 square foot custom built building, beautiful building.
All right.
That's in the Manchester East Industrial Park.
Yep.
And that is a probably 900,000 square foot industrial park right off of Candia Road exit of 93. Very little vacancy. So even though it's a larger industrial building, if you're a 50, 75,000 square foot industrial tenant looking for space right now in southern New Hampshire, you do not have a lot of options.
There's a lot of built-to-suit activity too. We've got some land where we have a lot of traffic on some land, industrial land in Exeter and in Hudson and in Bedford as well. So
all right,
we're just seeing activity increase pretty much across the board.
All right.
Office has been a little soft downtown and in Nashua and in Manchester, but Portsmouth and Bedford and Salem have been very brisk. We're selling a lot of industrial buildings as well.
Well, that's great news.
Yep.
Tom Farrelly, Sue Ann Johnson, thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you.
Hopefully, we'll be able to do this again in 2016 with 4 awards.
Yes, we
Because you
hope.
can't go
We
back.
could do this in the fall.
Yeah.
Why wait
Right.
till next
I
year?
agree. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you
night.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks.
for the opportunity.
And we're here with the MC for tonight is Tom Duffy of Berkshire Hathaway. And he did a great job tonight. You did a good job, Tom.
Thank you.
And there were a lot of awards that you had to give away.
Yeah, we were missing a couple of awards, but we managed to tap dance our way through it and make sure that everybody was happy.
Eventually, they'll get the award.
They will.
This is the first event you guys have run here at the CIBOR?
The first annual. We'll use it as a fundraising event. This is good because the sponsors like to show up. And actually, the event brought in about $3,000 for our charities.
Yeah.
We've given about a little over $16,000 to date, so that'll bring us closer to 20. It started, I was president of CIBOR in 2008, and we started the organization then. It was basically started on the back of Katrina.
Okay.
And when we thought, well, we should do something for people that need emergency funding. And we started a 501c3, separated the boards, so it wouldn't be as political.
Right.
And it's just worked out great. Jim DeStefano has done a fabulous job really keeping it going.
And this is
keeping
called,
everyone
what's the
organized.
charity called?
It's called New Hampshire CIBOR Cares. CIBOR is commercial investment, commercial CIBOR, commercial investment real estate.
Yeah.
And so it's important to our members to be able to participate.
You weren't kidding about your tap dancing skills, Tom. That was really good. That's a great charity and good. I'm glad that we could be a part of it here today on the first inaugural annual banquet.
We were notified on short notice.
You were notified.
We made it happen.
Yeah.
You know, we juggled things around.
Hey, Rick, I mean, you get to give away the deal of the year. Why wouldn't you make this?
You did it.
I know,
Deal
but-
of the year.
But I was waiting for my
To the
commission.
inaugural
God. That deal.
CIBOR event, they allowed Rick Kaplan. If you listened to our show, Tom, you would have totally rethought that. But he got up there and he did a great job. He gave his 30-second elevator pitch. He was cracking jokes, calling out somebody for a fashion statement. It was awesome.
It was good. He knows how to fill it.
He does. He's a filler.
Good. Yeah.
That's what they call a good BS.
Yes, right. What is the what
I
is
got my BA in BS.
right? I got my master's. If you,
He's not lying.
I would say. So, what is CIBOR Cares? New Hampshire CIBOR Cares. What is? Do you have another event coming up soon, or is there a place that people can find out to contribute?
we have our annual picnic coming up. It's usually the third Thursday of June, so that's sometime around. I want to say it's probably the 19th. Yeah, the 19th of June, and it's done at TF Moran, who has a big outdoor event, and we have a nice barbecue going on, and we have a raffle. At that we select our Realtor of the Year. Realtor of the Year is not somebody who's done the biggest deals.
Right.
It's the person who has really helped out the organization the most, really it's a way of awarding volunteers because we're all volunteers.
Right.
We're not getting paid
That's
for
a
this.
great reason to do something like
It
that.
is.
And if somebody wanted to find out about New Hampshire CIBOR Cares or wanted to donate, is there a website or something?
There is a website, www.nhcibor. That's NHCIBOR.com. And from there, you can link to any of our sister organizations, the 501c3, any of that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job.
You did a
Tom.
great job tonight, Tom.
Thanks, guys.
And the event worked out very well.
It did.
We actually enjoyed ourselves.
We did a lot.
You know?
And I'll tell you, anybody who is part of New Hampshire CIBOR who missed this event, you got to be here next year for the second
right.
annual. It's only going to be bigger, better, and more funny as long as they bring these two guys
It's going to be
back.
funnier.
Yeah.
Much funnier.
Yeah, bring these two guys back, and it's guaranteed.
Much better material.
Have you
next
met?
year.
Have you met my co-host?
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Duffy from Berkshire Hathaway.
Verani Realty.
Varani Realty.
Yeah.
A local name.
Yeah, you got to throw all
We're
the names
Berkshire.
out
We're
there.
the only ones in New Hampshire. We're
Right.
everywhere. 400 agents.
Hey.
Oh my God, we're huge.
I want to thank everyone and congratulate everyone that won an award tonight at the CIBOR New Hampshire first annual awards
banquet,
ceremony. And I want to thank our listeners, and we'll see you next time. New England Real Estate Journal Radio.